Happy Saturday, Jeremy. Happy Saturday to all our viewers. Kamusta? How are you?
I am pretty good, Jeff. How are you? And also, I'm really excited for tonight's session. It's because it's a
Why?
follow-up, right? It's a
Yes,
follow-up
yes.
from last night's session gathering, right?
Yeah. So about last night, what happened last night? So we had a discussion with how many? Three single moms.
Yep.
Yeah. All are named Anne.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, di ba? So, what were the takeaways last night? No, we heard about their concerns, their needs, no, and time. So tonight's going to be a great discussion, and we have several guests tonight again. So, what's good is that we will have several perspectives,
Yep.
and hopefully, the viewers will learn something after the program. All right, so let's bring them one by one. All right. Uh, so yeah, let's bring them here. All right, so there you go. Good evening, everyone, and we have someone from the U.S. So good morning, there.
Yep.
Hi, good morning.
Yes, yes.
Good
Good morning,
evening,
sa'yo.
Philippines.
Good morning, sa'yo, Adi. To you, Bernard. Good evening, right?
Good evening,
Bernard
sir.
is
Good evening.
yes. To Godfrey, good evening. Godfrey is in Tarlac,
Good
right?
evening. Good evening.
Yes. And si Christine is
Yes,
where
yes.
is Christine right now?
Christine is in
Ilocos,
Ilocos.
sir.
Ilocos. Yes. Oh, good evening.
Yes.
So
Good evening to
Ilocos.
all.
yes, good evening. Anyway, before we start, we'd like to ask our guests to share something about themselves. No.
Yes.
Our topic for tonight is handling socio-emotional concerns, no, of students, no, especially in this pandemic school year. But before we go straight to our topic, let's hear some words, no, from our guests tonight, no. Konting introduction. Let's start with Adi.
Hi, good evening, Philippine viewers. Good morning to the US viewers. I'm back. Thank you so much for bringing me back. The first time we've met, I was a teacher, and this time I'm going to take the part of a parent because I have that role. I have a dual role in my life. I have a lot of roles. So tonight I'll be speaking in representing parents all over the world. I've heard your concerns, so this is I'm going to bring all of those concerns to the table.
All
Okay.
right. Thank you.
Thank you.
At-
And let's hear from sige, Christine from
Hello, good
Ilocos.
evening. Hello, good evening to all. I am Christine Haluber, the school head of Santa Lucia North Central School. I'm 7 years teaching in the elementary grades and 13 years as school head.
oh,
Wow.
No more.
Okay,
okay.
maraming salamat. And then we go to Godfrey in Tarlac. Please tell us something about
Yes. Good
yourself.
evening,
Yes.
everyone. I'm Godfrey. Yeah, I'm Godfrey from Tarlac. And I'm a school head as well, like Ma'am Christine. Now, in a rural area of the Philippines, of course. So, basically, school heads are first step for being an administrator. So uh, that's where they station us at the rural areas. That's why.
Mm,
So I'll be
okay.
talking about more of those at the boundaries.
Okay, good. Oh, we'll get that
That's it.
perspective, no?
Yeah.
Let's now go to Bernard.
Yes. Hello, everybody. Good evening, Sir Jeremy, Sir Jeff, and
Good
good
evening.
morning, Miss Adiel. To all our Kai Husay viewers, good evening. To the family and friends back in the Philippines, and co-educators and
Yeah.
co-teachers as well back in the Philippines. Hello po sa lahat. So, I am Bernard. You can call me Bernard. So, in school, they call me Mr. B. So I am in Indonesia right now. For I've been teaching here in Indonesia for 6 years already at Singapore Intercultural School, Buena Vista, located in South Jakarta. So I'll be representing Indonesia on what is happening in our school, and yeah, basically that one. Help mo sa lahat.
All right. Sige, thank you for those introduction. At maganda to kasi alam natin anong perspective ang makukuha natin, no? Teacher from Indonesia, a parent in the US, no? Well, of course, pare-pareho naman ang concerns ng parents, I guess, no? And our teachers, no, our heads from the provinces. All right. So, let's first define, siguro, Adi, please tell us about the definition of socio-emotional. How do you call it? What do you call it? What is it?
Yeah, so social emotional development is the ability of a child or a learner to understand his feelings and others. It's also how to control his or her own feelings and reactions towards others and the behaviors. So it's more on how they build relationships with regards to their feelings. This leads to skills like as cooperation, following directions, um, demonstrating self control, attention, and all of those things that we want them to have so that they're able to learn. So that's the social emotional development. Social emotional learning is the interactions that we provide them as parents, as teachers. It's as simple as talking to them at the end of the day, like, how was your day? How I like when you see them tired. Oh, I see you're tired. So that's trying to get them to learn their feelings and how they will interact with you and others. So that's the very basic definition of that.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so,
also the two main
yeah.
parts of five parts of holistic development of a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great, no? Tama. So, siguro what we want to understand right now from the perspective first of the parents and then to doon naman sa teachers later, no? Or kung meron din kayong mga anak, no? Ano yung mga changes na or what should we muna as parents should look out for? So ang titingnan natin perspectives dito would be parents, anong titingnan natin sa kanila sa mga anak natin, yung mga signs, no, na
Yeah.
and then dun sa mga teachers naman as teachers, ano yung dapat yung napansin natin, no, dun sa pagbabago estudyante natin if you are already in touch with them or what we should look out for. So maybe we can begin with the perspective of the parents or kung may anak din kayong yung iba dyan, if you have children, please share with us your thoughts, ano yung nakita niyong pagbabago or what we should watch out for.
Yep.
So I'll start as a
Yes,
parent.
please.
As a parent, I have an 11-year-old son. He's almost 12. And I think when we started the quarantine, when we started the lockdown here in the US, that was way back in March. So we've been home for 3 months now. The first few nights, he was very anxious. He would just pick on his food. He will not, he would, I would see him staring out the window because he cannot go out and his friends are all outside the neighborhood. So there was a time that he was isolated. There was a time too that he became a little bit more angry than usual. Medyo
Mm.
bugnutin. That's what they call it
Mhm.
sa atin. And there was also a time that he couldn't sleep kasi yung mga thoughts niya and the news were just all over the place. Like everybody's getting sick, everybody's dying, it's just the situation. So, yun yung mga nakita kong behavior sa kanya because it's a change. It was a very abrupt change. Imagine going to school on a Friday and then waking up on a Monday telling him, you cannot go see your friends anymore, you cannot go to school, you just have to stay here. And then he'll ask me, until when? And my answer as a parent is, I don't know. That was the scariest part for me as a parent. Hindi ko siya ma-assure. Hindi ko hindi ko maano yung feelings niya.
Yeah.
Naba-validate ko yung feelings niya pero hindi ko siya I can't work him through it. I could give him a solution.
Mm, okay.
How about the others? Meron ba may kids sa inyo that you would like to share yung mga changes?
Oo. Like for me, being a father of three girls, yung
Ah,
panganay ko is already 12 years old. So I have noticed starting during the lockdown, she started concentrating more on gadgets.
Mm.
mm,
But actually, for the long time that in her elementary days, we go out training for we go out training for swimming. That's what we do usually. But now, and her body starts to grow big. So, but then once you call her, tatawagin ko siya, ayun, tulog palagi.
Oh.
So, the usual setup when she starts reading before, I tell her, so why don't you read your lesson? Yun din lang na puro gadgets ang ginagawa mo. Why don't you read on your phone? Pero ang nangyayari, wala. Puro watch videos. That's it. Talagang laki ng nagbago. Pati katawan nagbago.
mm.
Not just, hindi lang yung ugali. Pati
Okay.
katawan.
Ah, okay. I see.
Malaking factor na pag sinasabihan siya, ang laki mo na, ang laki-laki mo na. Parang the more na she doesn't want to go out.
Ah, I see.
Oo.
How about si Christine?
Hello, good
Okay.
evening po.
Yes, good evening.
So, as a school head, what I can see that what I see now the challenges, which these challenges have been already an observation before. Some pupils are coming. Some pupils act as they take good care of their younger brothers or younger brothers or sisters. Some of them, the parents are also cannot read or write.
Mm,
So in the new normal, now in the new normal, the parents or the teachers, they act as the teachers. They act as teachers because that they can let's face the fact that um, there will be no face to face yet because as what the president said, there will be no face to face or face to face interaction.
oh,
So
wala
the
pa.
children cannot go to school. They have to have their modules at home. Yun yung sinasabi nilang ah, aral muna sa bahay.
Oo.
Kaya yung mga nakikita ko ngayon, siguro yung mga bata, siguro they will have lesser time to study their lessons. And also the gadgets, because some of them cannot afford to buy gadgets and also the internet connection. So that's the observation that I can foresee in this opening of classes for
Mm.
this pandemic time. Yun po.
Okay, salamat. Salamat, Christine. Um,
Yes.
yeah,
I,
Jeremy.
I, yeah, I
Yes.
just have a question to Godfrey.
Yeah.
You mentioned earlier that your daughter or your daughters are during the lockdown, they were so engrossed with their gadgets. You mentioned that earlier. And instead of picking up on their lessons, they would rather pick up their phones, right? Or their gadgets. My question is this a compensatory strategy of these children because of the uncertainty of the future? Also to Addy.
So Godfrey, do you want to answer that first?
Medyo nag-choppy yata yung... Go ahead, Adi, first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say that
Well,
again. Say that again, Jeremy.
Uh, Godfrey mentioned earlier that one of his daughters would pick up the phone or be
Oh yeah,
engrossed
yeah.
in gadgets, right?
Mhm.
Instead of picking up on the lessons. And it seems like that seems to be the new behaviors of kids nowadays, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So
Mm-hmm.
my question is that a compensatory strategy because of the fear of the unknown, right? Not knowing when to go back to school, not knowing what to do,
Uh-huh.
having so much freedom instead of having structure like
Yeah.
going to school. So there, and it has
Yes,
something
and
to
at
do, of course.
first during at the first stage of I'm sorry. And at the
Yep.
first stage of this lockdown, now everyone was thinking that there will be no school year for this coming year. Everyone thought that okay, no vaccine, no classes. So
Okay.
now the children, our children, starts setting up their face. When are they going to? Uh, but usually they cannot meet each other. They cannot meet their friends. So what they
Yeah.
do now? So they sit inside the room. Okay, inside the room, look at their gadgets. Now, what I was saying a while ago that I really want her to, rather than looking at videos, why don't you look at something educational for you? Because from grade 6 going to grade 7, that's the transition period coming from an elementary level going to high school, usually here in the Philippines. Now, it makes a big jump for her. So I was trying to, yes, I was really trying to um, force her actually to go on some readings because it will be a big adjustment for her. But suddenly here comes lockdown, and everyone was thinking, "Oh, why do I have to do that? Anyway, we're not going to have school year this year since we don't have the vaccine yet." Most
Yep.
especially when the president announced that if there's no vaccine, we might not push through with the classes
School
for
year.
this school year. But then our Secretary of Education said that it's our duty in the Department of Education to push through with this education, with this school year.
Yeah.
So that's where the planning came in. Usually, that planning started, if I'm not mistaken, April 16th when they had the survey. Survey was coming in through cell phones, and asked to we were asked to answer those questions or those survey questions regarding what modes,
Yeah.
what modality do you want to receive education for your children. So those type of questions. Are you willing to send your children to school? Those are the
Yeah.
questions that they were asking at that survey.
How about
So something that
yeah,
we at the Department of Education, it's a must that we
we
push through with the
continue.
education.
Yeah.
But what are the strategies that we need to do? So that's how they came up with distance learning.
Yeah. All right. How
That's
about
it.
you, Aki?
Jeff, I can't hear you.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You can.
yeah.
Uh,
I think just answering Jeremy's question, do I think that's like a defense mechanism for them when they go to their
their gadgets.
gadgets?
Yep.
I think in this generation, that's their way of connecting. That's their way of being social. Like we've seen that it was all over the world. People were doing TikTok. It's their
Yeah.
way of hanging out. It's their way
Yeah.
of if it's their way of expressing that I'm here, I want to have fun, I'm gonna do this challenge, I'm gonna do this dance. So as a parent, I couldn't hindi ko siya I'm gonna go Tagalog. Hindi ko siya mabawalan because hindi ko na
Yeah.
nga siya mapalabas
Correct.
to to play, but then I do filter what he does on the websites and on the gadgets. Like he became at one point he became obsessed with Minecraft more than
Oh,
usual when he was in lockdown. He was building worlds, he was building a
yeah.
playground kasi hindi niya magawa yon in
Magawa.
real life. So he did that virtually. And I couldn't bring myself as a parent to say, tigilan mo yan, lagi ka nang nasa screen.
Oh,
Kasi yun lang ang paraan niya, eh, yun lang ang paraan niya na maka-chat niya yung mga kaibigan niya.
kaibigan
And
niya.
at the back of his mind, yung gaya nga ni Sir Godfrey sabi niya, hindi niya alam kung babalik ba siya sa school, hindi niya alam kung meron ba vaccine, hindi niya alam kung hanggang kailan ba siya nasa bahay. So, for my English speaking friends, I'll translate this later.
Yeah. So, how about Bernard, no? As a teacher naman, nag-start na ba kayo in Indonesia?
Yes, sir, Jeff. Actually, last March, we started with the distance learning.
Okay.
It's actually our first semester here in Indonesia, in my school, but in other school, it's actually their last semester, end of school year. But in my
Okay.
school, we started in March. That's our first semester, and yeah, I mean, as a teacher, I'm also struggling, even though
Yeah.
we are given the resources and stuff like that. And kids do have gadgets, but not all kids. I mean, we're just lucky because our students have the resources to, to have the
To
gadgets,
have.
internet connection, and stuff like
Yes.
that. But, the demands from the parents also are too much, when it goes to the teachers'
Oo.
side. Yeah, so it's really too
Pero,
much. Yeah.
Pero
Um,
as a Bernard, as a teacher, how do you handle the socio-emotional development or the stresses that the kids are encountering right now? Kasi we've parang the more stress they have, the less opportunity for them to really learn. So as teachers, how do you handle this to assure that natututo sila even they're away from school.
yeah, Sir Jeff, I think every teacher has their own way of teaching. So in our
Yes.
school, we actually have the, um, for example, homeroom time at 7:45. This is not like academic. It is this is the time for the students to talk to each other, to see their friends, mingle with them. So it's non-academic and can just talk anything they want and how they feel. For example, one of my kids will say like, I'm sad. And okay, so why are you sad? So all of the children will talk about that. And the interaction, the communication between kids, we actually maintain that to have an open communication. Because it's really important to talk to their peers nowadays. Kahit sa Zoom call lang. That's why our school really doing the asynchronous type of education right now. And yeah, so I mean, communication
Yeah,
between the
that's good.
peers, like we are actually doing that as a standard for them to be open on what they feel. They can really tell their teachers, their
Yeah, that's good.
classmates, and yeah, something like that.
Oh, so thank
I
thank
just
you, Bernard. Yeah, go ahead, Adi.
I just want to bring up yung concerns last night nung parents, and I want to
Yes.
hear for you as teachers. Kasi ang concern nila is, paano na yan because they're both working or they're single parents, wala silang time. It's not that they don't have time, but they have to manage their time and they feel like hindi nila kayang gawin yon, that they're still working. Both of them are still working or they have to work kasi single parent sila. How do you Paano niyo i-co-convey sa mga parents na makakapag-aral pa rin yung mga anak nila kahit na hindi hindi, as dedicated as going to the classrooms kunwari?
Well,
Yeah, see
well, for
Godfrey.
me,
Yeah.
uh, since it's distance learning, they can have actually distance learning is more flexible rather than face to face. So that already is an advantage when it comes to distance learning, rather than when you have it face to face with schedule you need to follow, you need to go to class within that schedule, rather than but if you have the distance learning, it's basically your flexible time, your most comfortable time. And
Oh,
of course, you can have it at the most comfortable place that you want to do the class. Most especially if my internet connection here is so poor, then I need to go to some other place. At least punta ako kay Lola, mas malakas doon. Something like that. And you
yeah.
can do that at your most comfortable time. So for me as a administrator, that's how I will tell parents, most especially if you have constant communication, you, the parents, the teachers, the pupils, then basically that gap will be filled in. So
Okay.
communication is what we can do best as of the moment. Well, we need to give them the situation. We need to let them realize that distance learning is actually safer for the children, for them. It's even more cheaper. You don't have to prepare baon for the children. You don't have to give them money. Okay, you're going to school. Ah, mama, give me money. That's how we do it in the Philippines since we were young. And that's how we were brought up. So, kung sa akin lang, it's much better. So, to orient the parents, we need to meet at a certain point through proper communication. Now, that's what I'm starting to build in the
Yeah.
school. Since we have poor connection at that area, it's basically few can only have because it's economic status of the household at that area is so low. So
Tanong ko lang si sorry.
there's no way
Yeah.
that they can have internet connection.
Yeah.
Even
Tanong
the
ko lang
internet
si Ma'am
connection signal is poor.
Yeah.
Tanong ko lang si Ma'am
Yes,
Christine
ate.
kasi kahapon, meron din yung mga nagsabi na hindi kasi daw nila alam kung anong i-expect from teachers.
Oh,
So,
oh,
as an
right.
administrator, as a principal, ano po yung
Yeah.
what can
Oo.
we tell the parents on what to expect? Like, sigurado ba tayo na makakapasa sila? Mami-meet ba nila yung parang academic requirements? Those are concerns. Ako
Yeah.
rin, yun ang concern ko kahit dito sa US kasi wala pa talaga kaming solid plans. So,
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah.
like to know your short idea on that.
Yeah. Christine? No.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. We have the most essential learning competencies, which is the competencies to be learned by our pupils. Mas simple na po siya. Mas na lesson po yung mas importante yung dapat na esensya ay dapat na competency na dapat pag-aralan ng mga bata. So, with this, the teachers, the Division of Ilocos Sur made a self-learning kit. This is just like a simplified module here in the Division of Ilocos Sur. Ito po yung iuuwi ng mga bata. So, after siguro na pagsagot ng mga module na to, they will see if they have passed they have understood the modules or the self-learning. Yun po yung siguro yung batayan natin kasi hindi pa kami nabigyan ng orientation kung paano gagawin yung paano yung pagbibigay ng SLK or
Oh,
modules
yeah.
po sa mga
I
bata. But
think. Oh.
Oo.
yes po.
Sige. Ako
Sure.
may question. Oh, yeah. I have a question, no? Especially for, well, the teachers. Siguro, I will also include Adi here because she's also a teacher, no? Um, Yesterday, one of the takeaways, no? Na nakuha ko from the interview of the single parents is their need for flexibility. Uh, as we know, the Department of Education, I mean, I guess globally, has nagbawas na sila ng competencies, no? Nag-focus lang on the essentials. So, I mean, ang nakita ko kasi right now is there is still a mismatch between perspectives eh. Um, for the past 3 months, ang napansin ko, observation ko, there has been a lot of trainings on the technical side.
Mhm.
But in terms of reaching out to parents and making them understand, parang ang dating sa akin ay parang kulang pa. I guess nandun lang ako sa side na nasa side ako ng education as a parent, so I know what's really happening. But for an ordinary parent, how are the schools preparing, or as teachers, how are you informing the parents about these changes? Or normally ang nakakarating lang sa amin is okay, nabawasan ng goals, essentials na lang tayo. Kami, we understand that, and I mean, ako as an educator also, I understand and I appreciate that. But how do we communicate it effectively, or what are the schools doing or teachers doing to make sure that this idea is transferred to the parents well, no? So yeah, siguro Adi, go ahead.
I think I can start as a teacher. So hindi muna ako parent. As a teacher, we've outlined what they will be studying. So it's a very basic outline of what they will be studying for the school year. May mga competencies because we have the Massachusetts core curriculum, as we call it. And I think ang plan, I'm not very sure. I'm not speaking officially about this. I think the plan is it's going to be very rigorous pero depende kung saan yung placement ng child from the
Yeah.
previous year. So, kasi may mga basic level kami kasi depende sa ability ng child yung placements nila. So, what I can say about that is they're coming up with very bare bones na structure of in science this is what's expected to be learned, in math these are the things that they will be learning. So meron na siyang parang whole year overview. um as a parent naman receiving the information from the school districts, medyo dito hindi ko lang alam kung paano sa Philippines, pero dito they tell us that they're training the teachers on how to reach out to the children first, social
That's good.
emotional on a social emotional level kasi maraming mga bata rin dito who are scared of yung sa job security ng parents nila, like can they really afford to go back to school. So may mga trainings, and then there's a lot of organizations here in the US that um, provide like parang the basics for understanding how remote learning works. It's not necessarily coming from the Department of Education. So, hindi ko alam sa Philippines kung may mga resources ba na ganun. Like, may mga team ups with nonprofits. Like, I belong to a one nonprofit. It's called Spark Kindness, and we provide trainings for parents to understand yung teacher side. So, hopefully may ganun rin sa Philippines.
That's good. A good idea, Adi, no? So how about the others naman? What are the actions taken, or at least the plans, no? Si Bernard,
Um,
how? Yeah.
yeah, here in my school, in Singapore Intercultural School Buena Vista, before we started distance learning, we had a survey to the parents, like, regarding the gadgets, how many gadgets do they have, how many children do they have, because we have parents who have siblings who are studying in our school, and obviously they need more than one gadget for each kid. So we need to consider that as well. How many gadgets do they have? Do they have like internet connection? Um, how many people, or who are the people who can assist the child during the distance learning? So this kind of things, it was taken into considerations in our survey. So based from the survey that we got, then we can actually plan on how to do our distance learning. So in my school, we have a certain timetable for each kid. So we have actually from like 7:30 until 12, And then after 12, that is already like student support, student
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
support system. So it's not um, maybe in a day we have like 2 to 3 Zoom calls for 30 minutes per, especially for core subjects. But for non-core subjects, we have it like we just do it in Google Classroom because we don't want to do like do screen over screen. Like we don't want kids to be like on the screen the whole day
Yeah.
because we want them to be with their families, having fun together, doing good stuff together. So it's like, as I said a while ago, it's asynchronous. We have a face-to-face time for the students, and there are times that they need to do it in the Google classroom by themselves. And once the kids did not understand a lesson, for example, or they are confused with something, we have a time for student support. They can request for one-on-one discussion to the teachers. So the teachers are actually flexible, especially in the uh, afternoon timetable, and that's for our for student
Yeah.
support because we do
Right.
understand that parents are busy,
BC.
and as a teacher we need to do our job, and yeah, and we
That's
don't
good.
want to
That's
pressure
good.
the parents as well since
Yeah.
they are busy, and we don't want to give the full responsibility to the kids,
Yeah.
teaching them, or else it will be a riot.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bernard. No, before I go to the question of Jennifer Angeles, I'll ask Godfrey and Christine. Kamusta naman yung preparations in your school in informing the parents about their needs, no? Or in supporting their needs?
Oh, okay.
For
So,
us,
Sige. Sige, go ahead, Christine muna.
Ma'am Christine. Ma'am Christine.
for us, ma'am, sir, we are the parents and the teachers have in the class. They have their own group chats. So the teachers give also orientations, give also informations on how classes will be conducted this August 24,
Okay.
and so on. So, yun po yung ginagawa nila. They have to give some orientations that there will be no face-to-face yet until that vaccine will be made. Um, they have to accept the fact that ito na po yung new normal.
Uh-huh.
Right.
With this, no face-to-face, the pupils will be given
Uh-huh.
self-learning kits from the division, and also activity sheets from the region, and also there will be materials coming also from the central office po.
Okay.
Yun po yung mga ginagawa natin.
Yun yung mga ginagawa naman to ano. How about sa inyo,
Yes po.
Godfrey?
Yeah. Yes. So it's the same with Ma'am Christine, but the preparation when it comes to the parents and how they could accept most, even with the pupils, on how they will accept the new normal. It's very different since they are at what we term as barrio school. Okay? Most of the people are below the economy line. So we consider them poor and kasi walang trabaho as in at the area. That's why internet follows. Wala rin silang makuhanan ng internet. So signal is also poor. So the cheapest that we can provide to our pupils, to the parents, our stakeholders, is the radio.
Ah.
So that's how we came up with the campus radio setup.
Oh,
We
okay.
are
So,
going to deliver modules will be given for free. And
okay.
when it's for free, it's good. But when you
Yeah, yeah.
say you need to have an internet, oh, so education are for those who can avail internet. That's what they're going to tell you. So you need to give it free. But the sad thing is the school cannot provide you internet We cannot
Ah.
also provide you laptops. We cannot also provide you cell phone. What we can provide you is you listen. That's how we came up with the idea of radio, campus radio. And that's how we are going to inform our parents, our stakeholders, our pupils.
Ah.
That's how we're going to inform them,
So
and that's how we're going to guide them using
so
the module. We call it here in the Philippines is blended education, blended learning.
so
Yeah.
Godfrey, anong dating? So merong radio, merong stasyon ng radio, ganun ba mangyayari? Merong station?
Radio, FM radio,
Oo,
with frequency. We're going to use
may
frequency.
frequency. So, yung time na yon sabay-sabay paano ang iba-ibang levels, iba-ibang frequencies?
No, they're going to use the one frequency that will be scheduled. They will be
Ah,
scheduled. Since
okay.
yung MELC naman, most essential learning competency na binigay ng Department of Education, we
Oh.
are not obliged to finish in one day.
Ah,
Okay?
okay. I see.
There's a certain day, certain days that you're going to finish that module at
Wow.
ibabalik mo siya.
Okay.
That's so if parents cannot understand the instruction written in the module, definitely they cannot teach their children.
Oo, oo.
So the only way that we can guide children is through the radio. We're going to give schedule for this schedule. Grade 6 will usually grade 6 are going to listen at this subject. So teacher is going to come in inside the radio booth and then talk about the module, what's inside the module, what are you going to do the module. He's just basically going to give instruction and explain some words that the pupils may not able to understand.
Mm, very challenging, ano?
So we're going
But
to
that's awesome,
lessen
though.
cheating actually.
Pero I
Yes,
Don't you
think,
Jeremy.
think that? Yeah,
sorry.
that's so awesome. I kind of like the idea. Don't you think?
No, I like
Radio, yeah.
I like the creativity there.
Cha-
Yeah.
I like the resourcefulness. Of course, it's going to be challenging, but it's better than none.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah.
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 I
You
think
know,
ang
go ahead.
takeaway ko dun is as a parent, parang kasi pag tinitignan ko lang, if I look at the feeds from DepEd, although I know that I'm not from the Philippines, nakaka-overwhelm kasi kung minsan yung dami ng information na hindi na-filter nung iba. I've talked to parents sa Philippines, sabi na hindi nila ma-filter kung ano ba talaga yung para sa kanila. So,
Correct.
I think it's good
Mhm.
na nalalaman rin natin na per district pala may plan na ganito. Like si Ma'am Christine is going to do orientations. Sila
Yes.
Sir Godfrey is going to do a radio, their
Radio.
own school radio. So, iba-iba nga yung, I think what I get from it as a teacher is creative talaga ang teachers. The will to teach is there. And
Oo.
we want to help out as best as we can. Pero let's not forget na ang partner natin dito are the parents. So
Yes.
include natin sila sa
Yes.
paplano kasi I that's also what I'm fighting for here dito sa US kasi I understand that they're busy right now with all of their modules, with all the presentations. Pero ang gusto ko as a parent, ayoko kasing matuto yung anak ko with just YouTube lessons.
Yeah.
Gusto ko na nakaka-reach out pa rin siya sa teacher niya. I want him to know that the one behind the one behind the slideshows is still a teacher who cares for him.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that's really needed sa ating mga teachers because we're the second parents as we know it. It's not the presentations. I love all of the work that all the teachers are putting into the presentations, but I think at the center of it
Yeah.
all, kailangan
Yes,
alamin mo
I
na
agree.
may bata beyond that.
I
Kudos,
agree. I
actually,
agree.
kudos to all the
Yes.
teachers. Kahit, everybody's struggling and as a teacher, yung creativity ng isang teacher lumalabas talaga. So we just need to support each other.
Yes. Tama. There's a
Yeah.
question here from Jennifer Angeles. Quickly lang siguro, no? Quickly, how can schools or teachers ensure that the required essential competencies can still be achieved while when maintaining a certain level of flexibility. No, magandang question yun, no? Ilagay ko rito. Uh, how can teachers or school ensure that the required essential competencies are still achieved while maintaining a certain level of flexibility? So, I think two things ang tinitingnan natin dito, no? Yung competency and flexibility, and assurance. So, as teachers, siguro quickly, how can you assure that the kids still learn, no?
Mhm.
Miss
Bernard,
Christine,
siguro
you were
ikaw.
Bernard,
Or
yeah.
Miss Christine or Bernard?
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. For the self-learning kit that the division is making, there is an assessment or formative assessment, uh, which is inclusive to that module. If the pupils will be able to answer these questions, so we can say that the pupils understood the competency. So after they have already answered, they have already passed the assessment, then that's the time that they will go to the next competency that they
Oh,
will have to learn.
Okay.
Yun
Yeah.
po.
that's
Yeah,
great.
Bernard, yeah.
yeah.
And
I just want to share what we're doing here in Indonesia. For us, yeah, as Miss Christina had mentioned a while ago, that there will be formative assessments every time, right after maybe end of the unit or an activity. And for us, for example, the big test, parang anong tawag sa atin sa Philippines, yung at the end of the first grading, merong big test, di ba?
Yeah.
For us, actually, we did not give that big test the end of semester because I think it's not fair for the kids as well to have this big test with this kind of distance learning. So we actually divided it into like four formative tests for small tests, um, with all the four different skills. So it's not really fair to give them the big test. So we make sure that every unit, for example, we just give a formative test that is necessary to that kind of skill that we need to assess. But we cannot give them a formal assessment like formal big test because it's not fair for the kids.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay.
I think
Uh,
Uh,
answering the
Sir
flexibility.
Jeff,
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sige, Godfrey,
I
go
think
ahead.
answering the
go ahead.
flexibility,
Go ahead, Ate. Yeah.
nasabi na ni Godfrey na meron sila, asynchronous,
Mm-mm.
they have a certain time kung may
Yes,
schedule na.
Sa radio.
Oo.
asynchronous. Yes.
Tapos may certain time rin na they will tune in sa radio. So, gaya nga, flexibility
Yes.
rin sa atin ng mga parents siguro is alam natin yung schedule ng mga bata, then we'll just have to carve out the time for
Mm.
them to
Yeah.
access that.
Oo,
yeah.
oo.
And I would like to add up
Yeah,
that
please.
regarding the new normal,
Oo.
the new normal is actually, to be honest, we teachers cannot be sure of that flexibility. But I as a teacher and you as a parent, we can be sure because we cannot. I as a teacher cannot do this alone. Most especially the children are at home. I
Yeah.
cannot be sure of something that I cannot see.
Yeah.
I need to see them. I need to be with them. That's face
No.
to face. And that face to
Oo.
face as of the moment is impossible. So how can we be sure? We, you, and I,
Yeah.
you as a parent, I as a teacher, we're going to work this out to be perfect. You're going to be flexible and I'm going to be flexible. Let's just communicate. I think that's the very point. Communication is what
Mm.
covers
Key.
up the gap, and that's what being flexible means.
Mm. I agree. I agree.
Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yes.
Yeah.
You were saying something, Adi, kanina?
No, no, I agree so much
Okay.
with that.
Yeah. All right.
Jeff,
So, yeah, no,
I just
yeah.
have
Go ahead, Jeremy.
a very simple question. Let's move away from academics for a bit.
Okay.
Uh, because again, aside from academics, there are other needs of students, and one of them would be the feelings, emotions, right?
Yes.
Building relationships,
Yes.
responses to external stimuli. But my question is, how do you build, as a teacher, as an educator right now, how do you build positive conditions for learning at home and virtually?
Oh, a good question, Jeremy.
Yeah.
No, I think that sums up the topic for tonight, which is social emotional. So how can teachers really build that positive environment? No,
Yeah.
tama ba? Positive environment
Yes, positive conditions, environment.
conditions. Yeah, go Adi. Sige.
I think as a teacher now, what I can do is do regular checks with the kids, allow them to express their feelings, like don't jump into the lesson right away. Diba gaya, what we do when we were also in the classrooms is first week back, you just ask them, how was your vacation? What did you enjoy most? What do you expect? What are you excited about for the new school year? Kasi doon mo mag-gauge yung feelings nila. And I bet there's gonna be coming out a lot of fears, a lot of insecurities. Gaya nga ng sinabi ni Sir Godfrey, like the inequality sa access, ganyan. So what we've been telling our teachers, even in the youngest levels, is make your first week be for rule setting, ground rules. So this is not make them buy in na this is fun, this is going to be fun. It just
Yeah.
looks different,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still the same. And make sure that I hear you if ever you're having problems or having difficulty sa class or having difficulty accessing the lesson, to add that extra time for support. So kung kailangan ng one-on-one support, sana may time tayo for that. But
Yes.
that's the plan going forward dito sa amin sa US. But hindi ko alam sa
Mm-hmm.
Philippines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I could share
so
something
I would
from Indonesia.
I,
Okay, go Godfrey first.
go Bernard.
All right.
Okay, okay, I'll go first.
Yeah, as
So here in the yeah. So about how our children, our pupils will feel. Well, actually, we can make something negative. We are in a negative world as of today about the pandemic. We are all worried. So the only thing that we can do to help our pupils, even with, let's appreciate small things na nagagawa nilang tama, rather than looking at something na malaki na pagkakamali. Then why don't we just appreciate something small which they have done right, rather than punishing them or getting angry of something that they have done wrong.
Yes. True.
So ganun lang natin may inject yung positivity sa mga bata eh. Pumulot lang ng plastic, okay, wow, very good, you're doing
Yeah.
great. Yun lang.
Totoo.
Just
Yeah.
appreciate small
Li-
things.
little things, no?
Yeah.
Tama. How about yeah, Bernard and
Yeah.
then si Miss Tin.
all right.
Yes.
Na-mention na ni Miss Adele kanina about the pastoral care that we're doing. So basically in a classroom setting, dun sa normal classroom setup, we're giving them the pastoral care 100%. So in this distance learning, we need to double the pastoral care that we need to give the children. Because this is about their how they feel, how they adjust to the new normal, and it's really important for the teacher to know how they feel. Are they comfortable? Are they catching up? So those kind of questions we need to entertain, and we need to tell them that okay, it's okay. We need to understand it's like this, and you know talking to small kids actually like make it very simple, but sometimes it's really hard to explain it to them. So they must feel the pastoral care aside from the mom or from the parents, also from the teacher itself. So mismo the teacher can actually build that relationship. Na okay, we are safe, we are happy, And even though we're having this kind of distance learning, I'm still learning something I'm enjoying, and I still want to study and stuff like that. And engaging engaging the students with their peers is very important.
Yes.
Like the Zoom lang. That's why in
Yes.
our school we need to have that face to face um teaching, especially with the kids, because they are, learning together, having fun together, communication. That's really important, and it's actually a key to their personal development. That's
Yeah.
that's what I can
Thank you.
say.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you for that suggestion. And finally, si Miss Tin.
Yes po. For the activity sheets given to our pupils, whatever activities, the modules, it should be developmentally appropriate, something that will suit to the interest and needs also to our pupils. We have to consider their strength, weaknesses, their interests so that doon tayo papasok na educators. So, without knowing yung mga binibigay pala natin kahit ah, modules lang pero nakikita natin very interesting pala sa mga bata yon. Kaya kahit wala yung teacher, siguro wala rin yung parent, natututo yung bata kasi
Bata.
they love those materials given to them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you. Thank you.
All
Um,
right.
yeah, all right. Ang bilis ng oras, no? But we've covered a lot, Jeremy, and thank you for that last question. Well, you know, paso ko lang tong comment na to ha, before we end. Sabi ni Miss Aida, as a teacher, we are tasked to make activity sheets to be used by our students because our dialect is different from other regions. I really feel the agony of the child. I picture the child. I put empathy as I construct my activity sheets. I made it engaging, but I hope and pray we will be successful. Yes,
Yeah.
we are all praying for that. Jeremy, I think my biggest takeaway tonight is really, you know, I guess it sums up as this eh. uh, Set aside education, but prioritize learning. When I say learning, it's learning how to build relationships, learning about our emotions, learning how to adapt and cope with what is happening right now. So we focus too much on the technical side of the rubrics, but maybe given this pandemic, this is a chance for educators to give chance to learning and relationship building. Eh. So
Yeah.
to think that at the end of the day, what really matters is yung not just the grades but the ability for us to communicate to others, understand our feelings and to communicate our feelings as well, no? So sa akin yung takeaway, and hopefully sana ganun din yung mangyari this coming pandemic school year, no?
Yeah.
The focus is in creating a positive condition for everyone. Of course, it's something ideal, hindi naman pwedeng palaging mangyari 'yon. But then again, we can at least try to create that positive condition, no?
Yeah.
So, yun yung takeaway ko ngayon. I don't know, ikaw, Jeremy.
Well, I learned something new. And this is just by observation. I just realized that Bernard has been doing a gesture in front of the camera for how many times now? 3 times, I think. And
Yes,
Uh,
he's clapping, right? Are you
yeah,
clapping?
that's
Okay.
sign
So,
yes.
language.
This is a sign language.
yeah.
So, I was a
So,
uh, interpreter back in the university. Yeah, me and
Wow.
Adriel actually, we were one of the sign language interpreters.
All right. So this is interesting because it could also add to the socio-emotional needs of the students. So, for example, you're having a live class and all of them are on the screen. So instead of interrupting whoever is speaking, they could do hand gestures, right? To add
Exactly.
on to reinforce or validate whatever they are saying or what the other person is saying, right?
Yeah.
So the social and emotional needs are somehow met, don't you think? So I think that's one takeaway from just
Yeah.
observation. But another takeaway would be, again, it's really important for everyone to have understanding, not just the teachers, not just the students, but also the parents, as what Mr. Godfrey
Exactly. Yes.
mentioned earlier, as well as Christine, Bernard, and Addie. Again, it all adds up to the collective collaboration of everyone in order for us to learn
Yes. Yes.
and not just educate, also learn from each other,
Yeah.
right?
All right.
So,
Oh.
yeah, there.
Thank you, thank you to our guests tonight. Wonderful insights, amazing. You're all amazing. Adi, first, I'd like to thank you for organizing the teachers.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your support. To Godfrey, Christine, and Bernard, thank you for spending your time.
Thank you,
To
sir.
all our
Thank you.
viewers, maraming
Thank you,
salamat.
everyone.
We've been trying our best to make sure we see as many perspectives as possible. Why? The bigger picture we see, the better we can create something new. All right. So that's
Yeah,
what
Yes.
and
we've
I think
always looked at. Yes.
as a last word, keep the conversation going. Sa
Yes.
comments, try to connect with the teachers kasi ngayon everybody's connected anyway. So keep the
Yes.
conversation growing kasi as parents, I understand na hindi naman malalaman ng teachers kung ano yung concerns ko if I don't bring it out. As teachers,
Exactly.
as
Tama.
teacher, hindi rin
Yes.
naman alam ng
Totoo yan.
parents kung ano yung struggle ko trying to come up
Yes.
with something in this pandemic school year. So let's keep talking. Let's keep being
Tama.
together. Let's keep the teamwork. Thank you. Thank
Wow.
you.
Okay.
Communication.
Communication. Yes. So
Yeah.
yes, tama. Adi, thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank
Let's
you.
keep let's keep that communication no going. So tama 'yon. Okay. So with that no, thank you very much Jeremy. To
Thank
all our
you.
guests and viewers,
Thank
maraming salamat sa inyo. All right. Have a great night. All right. Jeremy, that was a wonderful conversation with them, no?
Oh yeah,
No?
definitely.
Yung perspective, grabe. Nagulat ako with at least with what they're doing in Tarlac in that place there. No, in
Oh yeah,
Tarlac
and that's really
using a radio
awesome. And
frequency.
don't you think that's so
Yeah.
innovative, right?
Yes, oo
Who would
nga
have
eh.
known? Who would have known that you could
No,
use the radio, FM
exactly.
radio? Yeah,
Oo
that's
eh.
so awesome.
Honestly, others will call it going back. No, it's not. It's finding ways.
No,
No, being
exactly.
resourceful. Yeah. So anyway, thank you very much. Thank you for staying. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining the conversation. Have a pleasant night. Jeremy, good night.
Good night, and see
Okay.
you again,
Thanks.
viewers.
See you again next week. Bye bye. See you everyone.